Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This reading today is about your life's mission. So, we are going to get some messages, advice, and guidance about your life's mission. So, for pile number 1, we have Libra, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. Your card is the Deer. I hope that is focused. Okay. So for pile number 2, we have Scorpio, Capricorn, Gemini, and Aries. Your card is the Wolf. Okay. For the third pile, we have Cancer, Leo, Taurus, and Virgo. Your card is the Viper. Okay, beautiful. So I will give you a moment for you to choose your pile using the card, the zodiac sign, or just your intuition. I will see you in your reading. Pile number 1. Your card is the Deer. And the Deer is about dignity, honor. It sometimes is connected to public affairs. So having a public persona or having a very public career, like being seen or being respected, being honored, being responsible. So also keeping a sense of grace and poise and elegance. Independence also. Okay. Interesting. So, what do we have for pile number 1 about their life's mission? Okay. We have Good Lady, Grief and Adversity, Main Person, and Main Person. Wow. I do feel like this has something to do with public life. You have the 2 Main Person cards. And there's also this connection to nature. There's a lot of nature. There's a lot of lush vegetation. This can mean so many things, but maybe some of you grew up in the countryside or in rural areas, or you have a deep connection with a rural area, like a specific rural area, or maybe a career related to nature or to a specific landscape that has specific characteristics. But I feel like you have like a public aspect because of the Deer. And It's like you're supposed to do something for the public, for the general, for a like a big group, a collective, a population. Huh. Maybe it's even like representing a population that is native from a specific part of the world, or a specific nature, a specific setting, representing the interests of a group that belongs in a specific natural setting, turning that into abundance and into, it's almost as if you're creating possibilities for that group of people. It's interesting that it doesn't seem to me like it's a group of people, like a company, or um yeah, like a company, or like a project, something like, it seems like it's like a town, a city, a place that has its own connection to the natural setting, and like a long time relationship with that setting, and the culture, something local, something very local, but at the same time you're representing that group for before the whole world, or in front of a lot of people, or you are seen by that group as a representative, as a leader, maybe. That's so interesting. Okay, Moon in Gemini with adaptability. Sometimes the readings surprise me so much, the themes. That's so interesting. Okay, Sun in Virgo with health. Maybe this has something to do with the grief and adversity. Maybe you're helping this community adapt to current times, like technology, or um, maybe there was something in the landscape that was being like changed or altered in a way that wasn't healthy. Maybe there's a lot of connection to the landscape. Jupiter in Capricorn with control. Mercury in Cancer with intuition. Mercury in Aries with restlessness. Saturn in Libra with devotion. And Saturn in Cancer with charity. So I do feel like you have a special connection to a specific place. It can be a landscape, it can be a lifestyle that is connected to that landscape or to that specific place. Like, I'm just giving you an example. Like, for instance, you love surfing, or you grew up surfing, and now you are connected to places who places where that activity is very strong. You have your life organized around something like that. There's something about the place, the landscape where you operate. There's something that is, your life mission is attached to that. So, well, surfing is a different example, because a lot of people, they travel a lot to surf. They can surf in many places, But if I would give that example, I would say that you are like a surfer that prefers a specific place and establishes themselves in that place. So it's someone who chose that connection. It might be like a birth, since birth, or not. It can be a choice that you have made, like, or a great blessing that came into your life. Because of work, or because you relocated to a place and that place ended up being your your home, but also your life's mission, and very connected to your life's mission. So changing something about that. And also, so I feel like there's this spiritual aspect also to that. Maybe you feel like a very deep spiritual connection to the landscape and to the place. It's how you establish your groundedness, your sense of stability, maybe even your health depends on living in a specific climate or a specific place, because you have, for instance, if you have access to the sea, or you have access to thermal waters, healing waters, or the air is really fresh and that's really good for your health. There's something about so how you feel in that landscape, how you operate, the possibilities that it gives you, and how you're connected, like naturally connected, intuitively connected to that place. So there may also be this sense of like gratitude, or like I want to give back because I feel like the landscape has given me so much, the place, the town, the community. There might be this sense of service and of wanting to reciprocate the energy that you receive, the sustenance and the support. If that's not happening yet, maybe that's why this reading is coming to you, so that even if there is difficulty, or any trouble, it can be any kind of trouble, for instance, health wise, or psychologically, or there was some kind of trial. I feel like the place where you are in the community is very important for you to overcome whatever you're going through. And this might be about something that's going on in your life right now, or something that's in the past, and that's the energy of the transformation that occurred for you. So if you haven't thought of this before, and if this is resonating with you, maybe it's time for you to hold some sort of public office, or some sort of having, like, being in the spotlight somehow, or having a lot of attention on you, but because you're serving, because you're giving something back to a community, to a city, to a population, to a specific culture. I feel like that if you hadn't thought of this before, maybe this is something that can also be quite healing. The journey, this is the Death card. So I feel like this is not your birthplace, like maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe you still have to take that journey. The Four of Bows with celebration. It's hard. Okay. Celebration. That community feeling, that sense of being a part of a group that's connected to a specific place. The King of Stones with wolf. The wolf is howling and like calling the other wolves. He's communicating with the other wolves. He's putting his message out there, and he's showing, it's also a show of power and of strength. Having the resources. I feel like your specific life mission is connected to a specific place that has the right resources for you. Okay. Page of Bows with Stoat. Two of Bows with Decision. The Hooded Man. This is the Hermit. The Queen of Stones with Bear. The Four of Cups with Boredom. We have the Guardian, which is the Devil card. Temperance, and that is balance. And finally, we have the Knight of Vessels with Eel, or the Knight of Cups. So, okay, so I think that this reading is coming to you to inspire you to take action towards something. So maybe this reading is directed at people who are maybe a little bit like in between, making a decision, thinking of something, trying to see, what could happen, or thinking about what could happen if I did this, or doubting, there's self-doubt, there's self-questioning. There are also a lot of limiting beliefs. I feel like you have a lot to unpack. It's a part of the healing process for sure, but it's also, I feel like you're going to be made aware that in order for you to accomplish your life's mission, you need to have the strength and the power to gather the power, the strength, and also the support of other people to combat a specific energy that is destructive, or that is suffocating something. I do see some sort of like I feel like I should like protect a landscape. So maybe this is related to a specific policy that is affecting the landscape of a place that you really love, or that you feel attached to, or that you feel like your life is attached to. So there might be a time when you need to step up and you need to represent an energy and to represent like a principle. It might feel like you're serving, in that you are being grateful for something. also giving back. This is a part of you giving back and being thankful for something. But before this is powerful enough, there's a need to make a decision, like to move forward, to move away from like a sense of powerlessness or victimhood. I'm not saying like you want that for you, or that you want that for anyone. That's just, sometimes we have this like cloud over our heads, and it's, I do feel like in your case that might have something to do with how you see yourself related to that collective, to that community, or to that place. And when you feel like this, when you feel like you are, how do I say this? Like there's a dignity that you need to defend. There's an honorable position. There's something really powerful in that sense of, it's like a sense of justice, a sense of being judged correctly, being seen for your beliefs and for your highest ideals, representing those, also presenting those to a broader community, or to the public in general. But I don't feel like there's a kind of an easy way to do this. I do feel like you have to go through all of the steps without missing the details, and while still preserving that enthusiasm and that passion and that love and that kind of innocence. So there's the need to go through the process of purification of your own ideals, so that you can be useful for the community. You can also be productive for yourself and for others. And this process of slowly discovering the small blocks that create that cloud, because it's actually, imagine that cloud is not actually a cloud that's over your head, and maybe it's a little bit confusing. Maybe that cloud is made of really tiny specks of dust, or really tiny insects, and you have to recognize them one by one, patiently, until you understand. It's like you create this difference between what constitutes their bodies, and the air, the oxygen, the thing that you want, the thing that brings you freedom, and the thing that gives you the breath and the energy, the passion and the drive to move forward. That's not keeping you stuck. And those little insects or little specks, they're keeping you down, and they're like confusing you, or just making you imagine like not breathe so well. That's really just a metaphor. So, but if you understand what they're doing and how they behave, and how you can flow in between and make use of the oxygen, let's say, that's in between, you can kind of dodge the little pitfalls and the little mistakes. And you have to have this really good sense of who you are, this really good sense of what you bring to the table, what is at the core of your beliefs, and how you want to present them to the world. It's really important that you have that understanding, constantly reassess that understand you have the temperance. So this is a process. This is a healing process, a cleansing, purification process. It will take its time. So everything will come in its, own time. But what you have to do, meanwhile, is just keep that innocence and passion, keep that spontaneity, and also don't give up on the enthusiasm of the moment of when you have to move forward, when you have to do things. So when you do something, just wholeheartedly go for it, and then you'll see what happens later on. Not be too calculating, in the moment, because I think it will, I don't know, maybe in your specific case that will ruin your energy, or it will just not be. It's like it has to be intuitive. You can't really be too controlling when you are initiating anything or deciding anything. Although this might be a very complex situation, and it might involve um, a lot of nuance, a lot of other people that have different interests. And the point here, I do feel, is to unite people around something, to unite people around a belief or a like something they can agree on. Like nobody wants to destroy, unless you are pathological, of course. But I don't. This is the opposite. So this is everybody that is in this community and that you're attracting. They want to defend something. They want to protect something. So that's not, that's not the point. That's not the problem here. I believe that the problem here is how to go about doing, whatever you want to do. If it is like to create a reservation or to create a specific like sanctuary for animals. I don't know. There's something here about nature, or about also the healing part of nature. So for instance, you want like people to bathe in a specific water, and you want to protect that water so that other people have access to it, because it's a great source of healing, and also there's also a spiritual aspect to this. I don't know, there's something about, yeah, that connection to the landscape, the connection to nature, a connection to a specific culture, to a specific community, that I feel like it nurtures you, and it's a part of your life mission to help them to engage with that collective energy, and to also create something in the landscape. I don't know if it's something cultural or something like built, but there is a collaborative effort here, and the need to fine tune and to keep the energy, to keep the enthusiasm. There might be a lot of like policy stuff, and things that are maybe boring or confusing, but you need to find the oxygen in between. You need to find the little trails, because there's always a way. That's how I feel things are for you. There's always a way, and you just have to keep that enthusiasm and that fire, and just move forward. um, Almost like disregarding past experiences and grievances and stuff like that. Just don't be stuck on that, because you have the Page of Bows, the Stoat, and the Knight of Vessels. I feel like there's it's like you need to be lighthearted, detailed, precise, decisive, and lighthearted. Okay. Interesting. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to the newsletter on my website so we can keep in touch. I am also available for personal readings at the moment, so just send me an email. You will find it below. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 2, your card is the Wolf. And the wolf is related to the shadow, the intuition, to not being afraid to take risks. Um, hmm. So learning from those aspects, those darker aspects of life and also ourselves, using our shadow as an ally, even. Okay. So let's see. What do we have for pile number 2 regarding their life's mission? A journey, gloomy thoughts, high honors, and rich, good gentleman. Okay. So already I'm thinking about someone who, possibly someone who was also related to the arts, the occult arts or psychic. There's a specific thing that's coming through, but I will go into that in a moment. But so I do feel like many of you who are watching this pile are already are also maybe tarot readers, or you like some sort of psychic. It's like scrying. It's a very specific thing. Or maybe you've seen things and you've heard things ever since you were very little. You had this intuition about how things work, and it's something that is not easy to explain. It's something that might not be recognized by other people. But I think that one of the things that you need to do, and that is related to your life's mission right away, is to do something about that. Like people should recognize something about that experience, about how you experience that side of life that is, for now, occult, that is difficult to explain. There's no like scientific way to put this exactly, at least yet. To find ways, maybe finding new ways to express that, new ways to use those skills. So we have Sun in Virgo with health. Maybe the healing arts. Moon in Capricorn with practicality. So that's why I was saying, like, there's this finding a way to apply those skills, a very specific one. Mars in Virgo with criticism. I feel like it's really specific to you. Mercury in Pisces with inspiration. Yeah, I do feel like you're mostly like on the other side of the veil all the time. So you're seeing things all the time, and the way they manifest themselves into the material world is part of your mission. Sun in Capricorn with achievement and the recognition of others, of those skills, is really important. Mercury in Virgo with caution. And Sun in Aries with assertion. Yeah, I do feel like when you express yourself about this, it becomes like a sort of it's like you can tell who is on your side and who is not on your side. When you do this, it kind of splits people apart. Maybe it divides. It becomes divisive somehow. So maybe you have to be very strategic about that, and very specific, and even scientific if you can, because that will shed a light on what you do, and it will turn something that was in the shadows into something that is more like applied in real world, applied in reality. It becomes very useful. It becomes clearer to other people how useful it can be, how they can use that information in their favor, and to be better, to be happier, to be healthier, you know? So it's healing, it's useful, it's practical. Seven of Swords. 10 of Pentacles. You know, I feel like some of these people who might be divided about that, they might have experienced some kind of lie about that. So maybe they felt deceived, or they felt like somebody, you know, like a tarot reader or whatever, astrologer, somebody who gave them a consultation. This is just an example of the feeling. They said some things that maybe promised, you know, like a great future, or a very lucky, fortunate event, something like that, and it didn't happen for that person, and I think that they felt like they were being deceived. But this is just a very small example, because also sometimes people just project their desires on what the astrologer or the tarot reader or something is saying, and sometimes it's difficult to communicate exactly, without people putting their own expectations. But anyway, I feel like I'm speaking to people who also work with something like this. I do feel like it's more like energy work. It's not so much like visual, like the tarot cards, or even if you use the cards, that's not the main focus. There's something about healing energy, like pranic healing with your hands, the power of your hands, energy healing. I don't know, there are so many techniques nowadays. There's so many different things. Okay, so Five of Swords. So I feel like maybe you want to detach from that aspect. It's like you really want to be very clear about your intention and what you want to do with this power. Okay, Queen of Cups. That's really important for you. It's like to have like this impeccable work ethic related to a spiritual practice, or a spiritual healing, energy healing, discipline. And it becomes very hard, because it's an area that's kind of plagued by deceit somehow. And it's not only the readers or the therapist's fault, because sometimes people just really project their own expectations, and they're so deeply ingrained that it's very hard to feel like they're doing progress, or that they're, you know, they're having a that information is useful. So I do feel like you want to be useful, you want to be, but you also want to be deep. You don't want to sacrifice depth for practicality. The Prince of Discs. But there's also a material aspect to this. So the way you, it's like the way you earn a living, or the way you work, your method. Okay. So we have Strength card and the Ten of Swords. So this is really powerful advice. So accepting that things are not going to be easy all the time, and there's going to always be like difficult situations related to this. It's hard. I'm not saying you have to be tough, but you do have to be assertive. Like protecting your energy, also knowing when to let it go. Four of Cups. Ace of Discs or Pentacles. And the Six of Wands. Three of Cups with abundance. Nine of Swords. And the Two of Cups. Okay, great. So I feel like you can be a little bit too demanding on yourself, and it can it somehow motivates you also, which is okay. So I do feel like your own shadow is also a great source of energy, a great source of inspiration for this work, this great work. So you're working on yourself and you're working with others. Of course, this is a mirror effect. And that is the greatest thing, the greatest return on all the energy investment that you can have, because it helps you also accept on a deeper level that shadow. And I do feel like your life's mission is about depth. It is about going very, very deep into what you are experiencing, whatever it may be. But also having a strategy to operate in the material realm, in the material world. It's very important, and also it's a sign that you are protected. It's also healing. So having this balance between going very deeply into your spiritual evolution and into your spiritual skills, but also knowing when to detach and just become very practical and very just down to earth, what's in front of me. And knowing that some people might also interpret that as, oh, like you're deceiving me, like you're not that deep. Now you're very just, practical, and you're not you're not like my source of energy anymore. There's something here about also people like attaching themselves to you so much that, because it's so deep, it's like a magnet. It becomes I wouldn't say the word a bit, like the word abyss is too much. But you know, when people have this vertigo, when they look into a very deep place, very high, you know, they're standing very high, and the fall is very big, and it just pulls you. Sometimes people experience this this pull, this vertigo. It's as if they are already there at the bottom. They look at the bottom and they're there. It's like almost as if their energy body wants to go there, even if it's not with their, you know, rational, it's not a rational decision. It's just a really magnetic pull that that energy has. But it's a healing energy. That energy is also a source of your healing powers, the source of your, yeah, the source of your inspiration. So there's no way you can like forget about that. That's a part of your life mission, and that's really like a really big part of your life mission. So there's no way that can be ignored either by you or by other people. So you just have to kind of deal with that and operate with that and understand that sometimes it's going to hurt people because it's a little bit, it's very intense. And they're not dealing, it's not you that's the problem, it's their own ability to go into that depth that it's not the same. And sometimes you need to kind of just make it very light. So you go very deep, and then you just, okay, that's fine, and we start talking about something else like shopping or something very superficial. But it seems like it's strange, and it might seem like deceit, but it's not. It's a way to survive, because it's a way to make the energy more livable and bearable, because you can't be like underwater, under, you know, in the ocean underwater all the time. We are human. We need to dive deep sometimes, and you are like a diver, a professional diver. You can go very deep, but most people can't. So they need to also operate on, you know, on just on the chessboard with specific rules and things that everyone understands, that are common knowledge. Because that deep dive, it gives you uncommon knowledge. It gives you specific information and inspiration about life and about spirit, that it's just inaccessible for most people. And that's a part of your mission. So it can be a burden sometimes, because sometimes it doesn't match what's outside, but it's your greatest asset, at least according to this reading and right now. So it's something that brings you, it also is a source of your spiritual strength. So the way, what the spiritual power that you use to overcome any adversity comes from that very deep place that can sometimes be dark, but and mysterious, not evil. Okay, so darkness is not evil, it's just unknown. It can be hypnotic, it can be comforting, but it's a source of power. It's a great source of power. And it's also a great source of connection with other people, because when you find like-minded people, the connection is really, really deep. But usually it's hard, because people just act on this very surface level. Most of us, we need to kind of operate on the more surface level, so that we can be productive in the material and have a more practical day-to-day activity. So, but I don't think that that's your purpose. You are a deep diver, and a powerful one. Beautiful. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. I'm also available for personal readings at the moment. You can send me an email. You will find it below. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Pile number 3. Your card is the Viper. So your life's mission is related to deep transformation, to healing, and also life energy. So the energy that creates and destroys, it's the sexual energy, also the basic energy of life, the basic drive for life, and the transformation that needs to occur in the body and in the material and spiritual, so that new life is born. Okay, beautiful. So, what do we have for pile number 3 about their life's mission? We have theft. Unexpected money. That's interesting. Marriage card. And success in love. So we were talking about life and death, like the cycles of life and death with the Viper. And then you have theft and unexpected money. So it's like a loss that becomes a win. And it's like the possibility of birth. So the possibility of something new coming from the loss of the old. So it has to do with this transformation, this deep transformation. Maybe you are going through a period of deep transformation that's also transforming your life's mission, maybe, which is interesting. Okay. Jupiter in Scorpio with manipulation. Venus in Scorpio also with secrets. Something was happening behind the scenes. And when we have the theft card here, it's like you didn't have access to certain things, and you will go through a transformation in your life that will give you the access to those things, or you have already gone through this transformation, you're going through it right now. Mars in Capricorn with authority. Saturn in Leo with generosity. Saturn in Scorpio with inheritance. Moon in Virgo with order. And Mars in Aries with impulsiveness. So you have 2 labyrinths here and here, and you have the 2 snakes or vipers. It's like 2 different lives. I feel like your life's mission is probably going to change, because it's like you're living 2 different lives in one. That's how I'm feeling. And there's the before and the after. There's a clear distinction. Okay. So we have the Empress. So I feel like you're supposed to be so much more. So if you're something in like the first part of your life or the first chapter, I don't know how to explain this, because who knows where the division can be. It can be right now, or it can be somewhere in the past and you're already going through this transformation. So you're supposed to expand. You have authority and generosity. So you're supposed to expand so much. You're supposed to go to different places also. Different places. It's not necessarily a relocation, but it's like being in a completely different headspace. It's so much. It's so different. The difference is so stark that it's almost like being a different person. Four of Cups. Huh. Okay. The Four of Pentacles. Okay. We have the Star. Okay, so there were a lot of limitations when you were a child, I believe. There were a lot of limitations, not necessarily evil, or some of you might have been, some of you might have been in an environment that wasn't healthy. But it can also be something more subtle, like there were certain limitations. Money, resources, just material limitations that can be related to like technological possibilities, even maybe something in technology or something in the society that changed, gave you the possibility to be a different person, to express yourself differently, like to be more creative, or to know people from different places or know different cultures. The Fool. It's like starting over. Starting from scratch, starting over. The King of Wands. And you have the Seven of Pentacles with the Ten of Swords. So this is telling me that your new life, a new period in your life, that it's going to feel like you're starting from scratch. It comes from the letting go of this other person. And how do you do that? How do you let go of that? There's almost also some kind of like official situation, like a written document. It can be something like a divorce, or a contract that ends. There's something that probably, or the other way around. So it can be the beginning of a contract, the beginning of a new period where you have a different arrangement, a different signed agreement. A marriage, it can be marriage. You have the Marriage card and Success in Love, which is not necessarily about relationships, but it can be. So letting go of the past. Letting go of that person. Letting go of yourself. It's not only the things that no longer serve you, it's also letting go of yourself. of the parts of yourself that were now letting go of who you were because you were adapting to parts of yourself that were hidden from you or stolen, or that were being twisted, that were being manipulated. Because sometimes we do that to ourselves because we want to fit in, we want to, people expect things from us and we want to please them, even if they're not like intentionally bad or evil. It's just something that happens in human interactions, and sometimes we need to kind of deprogram. Six of Swords. It's like a new order. A new order is starting, and it's interesting that you have this capability of rebirth, of reinventing yourself. The world. It's just the ending is the beginning. Page of Cups. The Magician. The Ace of Wands. The Knight of Wands. I feel like this new you, this new chapter in your life is going to be very passionate. It's going to be driven by passion, and you are going to reinvent yourself completely. So your life's mission is it needs you to reinvent yourself so that you can accomplish your life's mission. That's the way to put it. You are the type of person who can live many lives in one lifetime. And that's not easy, and that's not for everyone. But you are the type of person that can reinvent themselves so much and so deeply that you turn into somebody else. Like maybe even your friends from the past that didn't see the transformation, they won't understand, or they wouldn't recognize you. They don't recognize the person that they met before once they see this new you. So I feel like the advice here is that you gather your tools and your skills and display them so that you can use them to enhance your passion. I don't know how to say this in a better way. So if you like something, if you have an interest, some kind of passion like music or dance or, whatever you want to do or whatever you picture yourself doing. Because I also think that you might have to do, it's something that involves other people. It might involve other people, and it might involve you also being visible to other people. And the way you do that is there's this presentation of passion. And if you are every day aware and conscious of your passions, of what you really like to do, it's like really representing yourself, being your own best advocate, being your the best representation of your passions, including them in your appearance even, because sometimes when we change how we look, We can also feel like we embody our passions better. So I feel like it's something that people will look at you and immediately see. I feel like there's this social aspect to this also, because you have so many wands here, and the purpose. So the advice to lead you to the end, the outcome, which is the King of Wands, which is this passionate person, charismatic, magnetic, inspiring. So if you were a little bit shy in the past, or more introspective, or if there were a lot of secret parts of you, I feel like maybe this second life that you're living is about the full expression. It's about you not being ashamed of anything, almost like being really in your face and upfront and seen, and there's a certain exposure here. And even it's like accepting even the ugly parts. It's going to be tremendously inspiring for other people. Like, you are not, it's like unapologetically you. This is really, I've arrived, I'm here, I have all these skills and these things that I want to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm confident. I'm not going to be torn down by anything, because I fully accept the darkness also. I fully accept the need for this cyclical, nature of life. Everything has death and rebirth. Everything is life and decay and birth and rebirth and transformation. You accept this movement is so well understood, and it's so integrated that you are much more upfront about who you are. You are not shy, and you end up being very charismatic. This might also mean that you are now entering a phase in your life where you are an authority, a leader, or a person that other people look up to, or that other people search for. They know, it's like you attract people. You will start to attract people naturally because they know what you're about. You don't hide anything about yourself. You're perfectly integrated. Like, you're confident in your own integration. It doesn't mean that you're like running around naked or something. It just means that you know exactly what to show, when to show it. You're very spontaneous and in the moment. You have the fire spirit inside of you, and it shows and it shines bright for other people to see unapologetically. And everyone has dark spots and painful points, and things that they're not as proud, of. But that's fine. It's like the acceptance is so relaxed. I feel like you're really at peace with yourself. Like, you've made peace with your past experiences. That's also part of the transformation. But I can see, like, there's this, so for you to accomplish great things that you're going to accomplish next, you will have this clear vision of your life, like before and after. So before, there were a lot of things that weren't seen, or that were stolen, that were taken from me. Even because I feel like you didn't make that decision yourself. It was just something that you were kind of born into. It was a specific context. It could be more painful or less, depending on who you are and your specific situation. And so there's this need for death and rebirth. So because you have this vision, I do feel like you have either gone through that process, or you're finishing that process, or you're in the middle of the process. And this reading comes to you to kind of motivate you to move forward and to understand that there's an afterlife. There's a life after this great transformation. You have two sets of two labyrinths, so two completely different lines, and you made a decision to reinvent yourself because you want to accomplish your mission, and you have that ability, and you will be successful because of that transformation. It is that transformation that brings you the confidence to integrate the negatives, let's say. Beautiful. Thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to the newsletter so we can keep in touch. I'm also available for personal readings at the moment, so just send me an email. You will find it below. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.